Hello everyone, welcome back to the another class of business law. Okay, so I hope you're going through with the classes, and at the end of all the units, okay, I'll post I will post the PDF notes, but you have a little bit struggle with that because of my great handwriting or the way I have written. But I think you will manage with that. But till now, you kindly go with the classes, try to understand the things. Each and everything is written very clearly on the slide, so you can copy from that also. That will be better. Okay. So let's check out what's the topic for the day. So today we are going to study about contract of bailment. Okay. So first we will learn what is bailment. So as you are able to see here, I have I have written here the definition of bailment as per your Indian Contract Act. Fine, which used to say what? Bailment is the delivery of goods. So you can just break up for, to keep it to remember. Okay, bailment is a delivery of goods. Okay, by one person to another person. Fine. So what is important here? You are able to notice delivery of goods, and then by one person to another person. That means we'll have our two parties. Fine. And then continuing with the meaning is what? Bailment is the delivery of goods by one person to another for some purpose. Okay. So there will be some purpose, a specific purpose, because of that one person is delivering the goods to another person. Fine. And same time with a condition, with a condition to return the goods when the purpose is over. Okay, when the purpose is over. Okay, or otherwise disposed of according to the direction of person delivering them. Okay, so here what things you can keep remember, which we will definitely study further as the features of bailment. Okay, most important is your delivery of goods. Okay, another important is from one person to another. Another important is for specific purpose. Okay, then next important is contract what? Goods are to be returned when specific purpose is completed. Okay, so just take an example. Okay, like you are giving a clothes, you are giving the clothes to your tailor for stitching. Okay, so you are delivering the unstitched clothes to the tailor. Okay, so two parties, one is you and one is your tailor. Fine. And that is what? For a specific purpose. Purpose is what? You want that unstitched clothes to get stitched in a desired manner. Fine. And once that gets stitched, so is that you're going to leave it with the tailor? Definitely no. You want to get it back. You want to get it returned, because now the purpose is over. You delivered unstitched goods, unstitched clothes to the tailor. Purpose was to get it stitched, and as soon as the stitching got over, you are going to get it back, and definitely you will do the payment. Okay, so it is bailment is delivery of goods from one person to another person for a specific purpose, and purpose served, then the goods should be returned back. Clear? I hope so. So now moving to the parties. So we'll have here two parties, one is bailer and another is bailee. Okay, so who is going to be the bailer? The person who is going to deliver the goods. So if I am going with our example, that is you and the tailor, so you will be the bailer. Okay, and the bailee, the person to whom the goods are delivered. Okay, the person to whom the goods are delivered. So tailor has received your unstitched clothes, so tailor is going to become the bailee. Clear? So these are your two parties, very simple two parties. One, the who is going to deliver the goods, bailer, and one who is going to receive the goods, okay, bailee. Then now coming here, your essential elements. okay, or even you can say it as a features also, essential element. And in your Indian Contract Act, the features of the bailment is covered from 148 section to 171 section. Okay, so if you want, you can keep it, remember. Okay, where very first comes agreement between bailer and bailee. Fine, there should be an agreement. Okay, now maybe you will say that whenever we go give the unstitched clothes through the tailor, we are not going to sign any contract, any agreement. Fine, you are not signing a proper any agreement, but it may be a expressed or implied. Now just try to recall, if you're going first time to some tailor, which is not very frequent, so sometimes we used to ask for the receipt, that write in a proper page and give it to us, that which will be a proof that I have given you the unstitched cloth and you are going to give me the stitched cloth with the same and whatever is the payment. So that is again, that speaks about the agreement between you and the tailor. So in any bailment, agreement between the bailer and bailee is required. It may be expressed or it may be implied. Clear? Now the next we have delivery of goods. So definitely bailer has to deliver the goods to the bailee. Then only the bailment will start. If there is no delivery of goods, definitely there will be no bailment. Fine. So possession of the good I'm sorry, possession of the goods, okay, should be transferred from the bailer to the bailee, like according to whatever you have terms and condition accepted in the contract, according to that the possession of the goods should be transferred. Okay, and delivery may be two types. One may be the actual delivery, or another can be the constructive delivery. Fine. So it's like you have to deliver the goods. Then next we have ownership not change. Fine. As I suppose you are you have delivered your car for repair to a workshop. Fine, and that is your actual delivery. Fine, that because you have given your car, possession of car, to the whoever is in the workshop. Fine, and now you are delivering the keys of the car also. Fine, keys of the car also. So that is going to be your constructive delivery, that you are giving the keys also. So just do the proper repair. Fine, but when you are delivering the keys of the car to the workshop person, it's not that your ownership is going to change. Still you will be only the owner of that car. Getting it? Still you will be only the owner of the car, even though you have given the actual delivery, that is possession of the actual car, to the workshop, even though you have given the keys of the car also to the workshop person, that is constructive delivery, but still ownership is with you only. You are the only owner of that car. Okay, so that's why we used to say ownership not changed. Ownership is going to remain with the bailer only. Okay, then next condition is bailment is only for movable goods. Okay, bailment is only for movable goods, not for the immovable goods. Clear? Next, delivery for some purpose. So as in the meaning only we have seen, there should be some specific purpose. Okay, the purpose can be your safe custody or use of goods or repair of the goods. Okay, purpose can be anything, but the purpose should be there. Okay, you are delivering your some item to your some relative house and saying that please keep it for the safe custody for 10 days, we are going out of the town, okay, or out of the city. So that is the purpose is here, what? Safe custody. Fine. Or if you're going to ask to your friend or somebody, okay, please give me your bike for the one day. Okay, I have to go somewhere and I don't have a bike, or my bike is not working right now. Okay, so just give me for one day. So that is for the use of the goods. Okay, so purpose should be there. Okay, varieties of purpose are available, but purpose should be there. Clear? Then next feature is change in forms. Okay, so change is like, see, remember the first example where we have given the unstitched clothes to the tailor and then getting it stitched. So definitely it is the unstitched cloth is getting converted into the stitched one. Fine. So still the contract remains the bailment only. Okay, contract is not going to change, but change in forms possible. Clear? You have given your just suppose television for repairing. So when you have given the television was not working, but once it got repaired, definitely your television is working. Okay, so forms got changed, but still you are only the owner, and it will be remaining as a bailment. Clear? Then we have the last essential, return of goods. Okay, so as we have seen again in the meaning, when the purpose is going to get completed, the goods should be returned back to the bailer from bailee. Okay, or you can dispose it if it was agreed in the contract. So as per the direction, you can dispose also. Clear? So these are your all the case of bailment. Okay, even whenever we keep some our valuable items like jewelry or money, something in the bank locker for safe custody, so that is also a case of your bailment contract only. Fine. Now, and yes, here one thing keep remember please. Yeah, if you are keeping your money in the with the bank in your saving account or current account, okay, so that will be not the bailment. Fine, because bank is not bound to return the same identical currency notes, okay, which were deposited by you. Getting it? But definitely if you are keeping the valuable items like jewelry or money, something in your in bank locker for safe custody, then it will be a case of bailment contract. It's not going to happen that you kept your some of the jewelry which has the weight of 1 kg, and then when you are getting back, you are getting a very nice gold biscuit only 1 kg, and banking say no, you have kept 1 kg, we are also giving the 1 kg. No, in that case it should be identical. Clear? Now going next for your kinds of bailment. Okay, so what are the types? So basically the types of bailment on broad basis we can divide under two types. One is your basis of reward and another is basis of benefits. Okay, so first we'll check out first let us check out the basis of benefits. 3, so let us finish that first. So very first we have bailment for the exclusive benefit of the bailer. Okay, exclusive benefit, full benefit to the bailer. So just suppose, as in the examples also I told you, you are going for 10 days out of the city, out of the town, and you are keeping your some valuables in the relative house for the safe custody. I don't think so that after coming back you are going to do the some payment to them saying that you have kept it as a safe custody, so now I'm going to pay you something. No, these all we used to feel that free of cost only. So it was like only or exclusive benefit of the bailer who has delivered or who has kept those items in the relative house for the safe custody. Okay, next we have bailment for the exclusive benefit of bailee. Okay, so whoever is getting the goods, they are having the benefit. So whenever just suppose like your friend has asked your bike for 1 day, so you are not getting anything, you will be worried if something will happen, or you will be worried like my maintenance charges, you will worried like whether he will give the petrols or not, something not like that. Okay, but your friend who has got the delivery of bike, definitely he is getting all the benefits. Okay, then next we have bailment for mutual benefit of both bailer and bailee. So when the both parties getting some benefits under a single bailment contract, like you gave your television for repairing, so benefit for both. You will get your television repaired, and the shopkeeper or the person who is repairing it, that person will get the payment. Okay, so very simple. That is on the basis of benefit. Next we have on the basis of reward. Okay, so on the basis of reward, we used to divide it under two types. One is gratuitous bailment. Okay, so it is the bailment of goods without any charges or reward. The bailee is not required to pay any charges for the bailment. So bailee is not going to do any charges. Okay, like bailee is not going to get any charges or something in this bailment. Okay, the bailment of goods will be without any charges or reward. Another is we have non-gratuitous bailment. Okay, so in this bailment some charges or reward will be there. Okay, the bailee is required to pay some charges to the bailer. Bailee will pay some charges to the bailer. Clear? So these are your kind or types of bailment. Now the next we have in the list your duties of bailer. Okay, so as you can see here, very quickly we will try to cover it. Okay, so many points are there. So duty to disclose all the known defects. So if bailer who is going to deliver a particular item to the bailee and know very well that in this particular item some defects are there, so it's a bailer duty to disclose it in front of the bailee. Okay, next we have duty to bear necessary and extraordinary expenses. So when the bailer is going to deliver any item to the bailee for any purpose, okay, but to keep it in a safe custody or to keep it in a proper manner, if any necessary expenses are going to arise, then bailer has to pay it to the bailee. Okay, then duty to indemnify loss for premature termination of bailment. So if the contract of bailment is not going to complete the like what agreed time duration, and if it is going to get to premature termination by the bailer, then if bailee is going to suffer for any losses, then bailer has to make it good. Okay, then next we have duty to indemnify the bailee against the defective title of bailer. So whatever items you have delivered to the bailee, if on that you had the defective title, and because of that if bailee is going to suffer for any loss, again the bailer has to make that losses also good. Okay, then we have duty to receive back the goods. So once the specific purpose completed, then it's a duty of bailer to receive the back those goods. Okay, then duty to bear the losses. So if any loss is going to arise, then the bailer has to bear it. So these all are your duties of bailer. Okay, next we have rights of bailer. So there are so many rights we have listed here. Okay, so don't get tensed, all are very easy. Very first we have right to claim damages in case of negligence. So if any damage happened to the delivered goods because of the negligence of bailee, then definitely the bailer is having a full right to claim those damages. Okay, then we have right to terminate the contract in case of unauthorized use of goods. So if the bailee is going to use the goods in an unauthorized manner, then bailer can terminate the contract of bailment before the completion of the bailment. Fine. So so we can see that in such cases the bailment contract is going to be a voidable contract, okay, from the point of view of your bailer, because from the side of bailee it is a case of breach of contract. Okay, then next we have right of claim compensation in case unauthorized use of goods. So if bailee is going to do any unauthorized use of goods, and because of that if anything problems happen, then bailer is having a full right to ask for compensation, because of unauthorized use by the bailee damages arised to the goods. So definitely bailer has a full right to claim for compensation. Okay, next we have right to claim the separation of goods in case of unauthorized mixture of goods. So if the bailee without the consent of bailer mixes the bailer's goods with his own goods, okay, and the goods can be separated, and bailer has a right to claim his goods after separation. Fine. Next we have a right to demand return of goods. So definitely when the specific purpose is completed, so after that completion the bailer has full right to demand for the return of goods. Okay, then we have right to claim compensation in case of unauthorized retention of goods. So if bailee does not return, okay, even though the purpose got accomplished, but after that also if bailee is not going to return the goods or not delivering the goods according to the bailer's directions, so in that case bailer is having a full right to claim for compensation for any losses or destruction of the goods from that time. Okay, and the last we have right to demand accretion of goods. Okay, so if bailer is actually having the full right, if any increase or profit, okay, which occur from the goods which was bailed with the bailee, so all those increase or profit definitely bailer has a full right to enjoy it. Okay, now next we'll check out what we have? We have a duties of bailee. So very first duty to take care of goods. So very simple one, when bailee is having a possession of goods, as we have taken the example today somewhere, that you have given your TV for repair or you have given your car for repair. So definitely when you are given those positions, TV or the car, to the workshop, definitely they have the duty to take care of the goods. It's not that they are going to damage more, no. Okay, then duty not to make any unauthorized use of goods. So definitely it should not happen that you have given the car for repair to the workshop and workshop person is going to repair it and then he is going for a 1 month tour. No, definitely not that. Then next we have duty not to mix bailer's goods with his own goods. Okay, so it's not happen that you have given your car for repair and then the workshop person is going to keep it as in home as his own car. No. Okay, then duty to return the goods. So definitely when the purpose is going to be served, it's a bailee duty to return the goods to the bailer. Then duty to return accretion to the goods. So if any increase or profit happens, okay, on the bailed goods, so it's a bailee duty to return it. I'll just take one stupid example, simple one. You just suppose you have you are going like for 10 to 15 days out of the town or city, and you have given your cow, okay, cow, the pet animal, I hope you know. So that you have given to your relative house just to take care for the 10 to 15 days. And in the span time of that 10 to 15 days, if the cow is going to deliver a calf, so it should not happen that when you are coming back to your place and you are going to demand for the return, so it should not happen that your relative is going to return you only the cow. They have to return the calf also. Then next, duty not to set up any adverse title. Okay, so just make sure bailee must not do any act which is inconsistent with the title of the bailer. He must not set up his own title or a third party title on the goods bailed to him. So these are the duties of bailee. Now quickly check out the rights of bailee. Now one thing, when you are getting too much like wow, so many points, so what I suggest as a simple, okay, it's just like I'm not saying that you should do this, but I'm just saying you can do this. So keep remember the duties and rights of one party and just try to change the grammar and just make opposite for the another party. Okay, so the duties of the bailer will become the rights of the bailee, like that you can do. Clear? Now quickly we'll check the rights of bailee. Right to claim damages. Okay, so if any damages arised or any damages, okay, in the given or bailed goods are there, so bailee is having a full right to ask for those damages. Then same, we have a right to claim reimbursement of expenses. So if bailee is going to bear any expenses, okay, to take care of your bailed goods, so in that case also he is having a full right to ask for those expenses. Right to indemnify in case of premature termination of the gratuitous bailment. So if before the agreed time period, if the contract is going to get terminated, okay, so if the bailee is going to suffer for any losses because of that, then bailer has to make it good. Right to recover loss in case of bailer's defective title. So bailer, whatever the item he has delivered to the bailee, and if it has the defective title and because of that bailee is going to suffer for the any losses, then definitely bailer has to make it good also. Then right to recover loss in case of bailer refusal to take the goods back. So if the purpose got clear over and if still bailer is refusing that, okay, I don't want to take the position of goods back, and because of that if you are suffering for the any losses, then again you can ask for those recovery of those losses also. Then we have right to deliver goods to any of the joint bailer. So if it is a case of joint bailer, okay, where more than one bailer in the contract was present, so his bailee is having a full right, he can deliver the goods to any one of the bailer. And a right to deliver goods to the bailer in case bailer's defective title. So if bailer has delivered any goods which had the defective title, so bailee is going to return it and bailee is having a full rights to demand for other item. Okay, so these are your rights. Now we can check what when and all possibility that termination of the bailment will take place. So very first we have on the expiry of fixed period. So very simple, if the contract of the bailment was for the 1 year, so after 1 year the contract will get terminated. Second, we have on the fulfillment of purpose. So if the purpose, for what specific purpose you have the parties has entered into the contract of bailment, if that purpose got clear over, okay, fulfilled, so definitely again the bailment contract will get terminated. Then we have the inconsistent use of goods. So if the bailee is using like goods in a very bad manner, inconsistent manner, so in that case also bailer is having a right to go for termination of bailment, and your contract of bailment will now taken as a voidable contract. Then we have a distraction of the subject matter of the bailment. So whatever was the subject matter, if that matter only got destroyed, like no more, so definitely the contract will also get terminated. Then death of the any party, very simple, if anyone is going to die, so definitely one party alone can't go for the contract, because in contract minimum 2 parties should be there. Then termination by the bailer. So if bailer itself is going to terminate, that we have seen in the rights and duties all, like a premature one, so in that case also termination will be possible, but bailer has to compensate the bailee. Clear? So these are the cases where you can terminate your bailment contract. So for the day, this much. Go for it, study it. I know a little bit bigger topic, but if you want, you can do it. Okay, so thank you. Have a nice day.